Hello, everyone. This is TabbyCat54, and you are here in the Plando Tournament on the Deep Six because we had to vodcast this one due to one reason or another. We are watching Chloe Prower versus baconbacon1207. Again, I am your seed roller and commentator, and I have Professor Renderer here. And the second time, I thought we were live before, but apparently we're not. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm just sitting here chilling out. Just working on a Rivals of Avis MSU pack. I'm having a good time here. Just want to please sit down and just relax a bit.
Yeah, that's about right.
Lovely night.
But whenever our restreamer is ready, we're going to watch a very fun race. Very fun one that had a 2 to open the Ganon's Tower and 7 to defeat Ganon. So there were a lot of shenanigans that were available here, and let's see what our runners had happen here.
And let's get the show on the road here. So this is Fast Ganon, Inverted, Randomized Swords, Key Sandy, 2, 7, and AL, which is just all locations.
All locations. So that's different from AI, being that the all inventory, all locations means there cannot be any key locked keys.
No, there cannot. So we will be seeing stuff like the Thieves' Town bait shots being put into play here, as if it's just a thing, and you can always just do a whole 216 if you really wanted to.
And a lot of times we like to do AL versus AI because that way we can get that 216. We don't want to get 216 granted, but, you know, for the memes.
Yeah, because why not? We like memes.
Now, because this is being vodcast, we will be revealing placements as they go, and that's why they had me here. It's because I'm the seed roller, and I know where they place things. Even though this was like 2 weeks ago, and I might have to go look at my spoiler log.
So Bacon is going to head over to Skullwoods, and this also applies for Chloe Power. This is one of many starts that you can do in Inverted. This start is pretty popular because you can get bums really quickly. Given the fact that you are at 3 hearts, you can easily death warp like numerous amount of times and get like all 10 bums after 5 deaths.
Yeah. So, as someone who just loves playing Inverted myself, it's something I will usually go up here and get my bombs, and hopefully I always cross my fingers and toes that I find something in here that'll help me, at least hearts or something that will get me to the back. And Bacon taking probably an unintentional death there.
That was unintentional because I believe that was because Bacon got 1.0'd by the fire bar.
Never fun.
Yeah, you hate to have a take a death because of a 1.0 bug.
You know, the worst one for 1.0 bugs is absolutely in Swamp Palace, where if you're going in left side swamp and you're falling and you get 1.0 there, you die as you're already done all of this work to get to left side swamp, and then you're dead.
Yeah, that's like the worst one. Chloe gets the sword out of the Pot's prison, which was Bacon that picked up.
Oh, Flute and Hype Cave. Unfortunately, in Inverted, Flute is not as good as it is in normal, but it's still a pretty nice find.
Yeah, in the Flute in Inverted is just relegated to just being a fast transport item and not just something important for like logic or anything.
True. And it looks like Chloe also took a death there, and find out something really important that I had to write down numerous times in our seed rollers, is because I forgot to do it. Make sure you put this handy dandy Skullwood key in this box, which I did not.
Yeah, this is something that's it's pretty required because Because we don't want to have to be stuck in
Yeah.
in that room, don't we?
But I will say that I have actually had some runners that have requested an item be put there if they know that maybe their opponent hasn't played in a while, or they don't know that it's not supposed, that it can be anything else. I've actually had runners that have said, "Hey, I want to put the hammer there. I want to put Quake there. I want to put something there." So it's kind of an interesting little box now.
Chloe gets the flute out of a hype cave. Again, it's just a fast transport item now instead of just being something important for logic, given inverted.
I'm checking over their picks real quick. I don't think they've found any yet because they haven't really done much.
It's still early, and this is I guess one of the big examples as to why this is the case. If you fall down that middle hole, you can't get out.
Yeah, you can't get out.
There's a blue potion inside the C-shaped house.
I've been grabbing these picks here.
And Chloe is heading into Thieves' Town. Get a compass for Eastern Palace in the first chest of Thieves' Town. Not Turtle Rock. This is way before Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah. One thing I really enjoy about Inverted is how, and I know it sounds like really sadistic, but I do enjoy how it forces these really low heart Dark World dungeons where you could just die. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just die.
The best thing about Inverted really is that you get to do a lot of fun things with, like, it's that it starts up hard, and then it gets really easy because you're now in the light world. You can find a lot of stuff there, and there's the glove out of the vanilla big key chest.
And one thing that, again, with your thing on Inverted, when the light world opens up, it opens. So it's just so many things just turn green on your tracker. But speaking of things that have possibly turned green, maybe not, but we got the Master Sword.
Yep, that was out of the chess game. And there is a big key for Thieves' Town. We're just right there. We can probably just head in if we really wanted to.
And none of our runners like to do a 3-heart blind, but as Inverted's going to force that 3-heart blind, so.
And more so, 3 blind Thieves' Town, which is pretty tough. If you're bumping around like crazy, you could just die and die and die and die and die again. Chloe gonna do the hero game. This is one of the other openers that a lot of people will do in Inverted, mainly to get 124 rupees if they hit all 5 of them in a row.
And the joke, of course, that again, another thing from Inverted is that they wanted to make the archery game viable again. Because you never see it in open.
Yeah, and you don't normally see it in open unless you're just scraping up trying to find rupees for something like getting a potion or something. But we did see that we did find a blue boomerang over on the dig game.
And it looks like Chloe's going to do something called the Kern Jump, which throw a bomb, and you can force yourself into a fake flipper state, while Bacon is heading to Beeftown.
Chloe does a very well placed Kern Jump, only 2 attempts to make that work.
Now, the question is, why would Chloe do that?
This is actually a good question, actually. I believe is that Chloe wants to maybe expedite the process of going over to East Dark World, and also make it so that you can find something. Oh,
or
hello.
Maybe find Chloe's plant. That is the first plant of Chloe Prower. She did put the hammer on Pyramid.
That's actually really clever. I like that. I like that plan because the reason why is because, well, it's going to take you a while. You're going to flippers logically to get that, but if you know that the tricks to get over there a lot more quickly without needing those flippers, you can just get it right away and don't have to worry about just hunting for flippers.
Exactly. So, I really actually do enjoy that plant as well, only because if you were going up against me in inverted and you knew how to do Kern Jump and I don't, well, honestly, I know how to do a lot of the fake flipper type things and splash delete and you know yada yada yada, but that Kern Jump is actually one that I have not been able to do. So, you know, you get that hammer right off the bat and you're already ahead.
Right, and that is something that I have yet to learn too, that Kern Jump.
Still working on Diver Down too. I got the main Diver Down, it's the second one. The one in the left side swamp one. That's the one I'm working on. It's just the block placement.
And we get the big key for Skull Woods out of the maiden chest.
And looks like Chloe takes a death on the Hellway while Bacon is taking Blind home.
This will be a tough fight. Again, you mentioned this already. 3 heart blind. Okay, this is probably okay. Bacon's off script here because it was way too high for the trick to set up, and takes a death for it.
We'll say that Bacon does have that Master Sword, and there is another trick you can do, of course, with the sword beams, where you go kind of hang out more on the wall, and you can just spam your sword beams. And I've actually been able to pretty easily take out Blind with 3 hearts because of just being able to avoid the heads by hugging the wall, and then you're just all you got to do is avoid those fireballs. So of course, following the script on Blind is a little bit easy. We have take 2 for Bacon. And then another death. This is not an easy fight, so...
No, it is not an easy fight at all. 3 hearts, Greenmail Blind is a very difficult task to pull off. But we do... I believe Bacon has yet to use the blue potion that he got.
Well, I think he also kind of got mobbed a little bit by Blind to where it's like, I can't really use it. using those sword beams, that's what I do, and especially if blind's already off script, those sword beams, man.
So with the fact that Chloe has the hammer in hand, we're gonna go and take a look at the big chest. This is something that Bacon does not have, and it's a red potion.
And Bacon takes down Blind. While Chloe has 2 potions to be able to have as much health as possibly needed.
And it turns out Blind was holding the Moon Pearl and a pendant.
Oh, that reminds me. Hello, Plant, from one of our 2 audience members for this particular seed, which would be JTN.
That's a fun spot, actually.
I'm going to tell you what actually happened with this one that didn't happen on our last one. Our last one we thought was going to be fully staffed, and things happened where it didn't end up getting staffed, so we had everything except for so we had almost everything, and stuff happened. But this particular one, oh yeah, and Chloe just takes Blind down like it's easy. This particular one actually has 2 audience members that were picked by the runners themselves. Bacon chose GFE, and Chloe Prower chose JTA.
That's kind of a fun one, yeah. And also considering that Chloe was able to do that all in one fell swoop on 3 hearts, green male Blind. That is a really good fight for Chloe, and also gladly getting the Moon Pearl there. So the reason why I like this one in particular is because you're forced to do a trick that do a setup, a low percent fight that results in you having to, after smashing your head against the wall numerous times, if you're not familiar with the setup and you're not prepared with any potions or anything, then you can then after you kill Blind, you get rewarded very well with that Moon Pearl. Which
I like that as well. I will say another thing, as both of our runners take a death warp, that in another recent race that we had, it was the one actually that I ran versus DJ. We did another one of these inverteds, and I forced a low percent moth fight because that's another thing that can happen in inverted, and it's never fun. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants to see it. But I forced a 3-heart Mothula fight, and again, just like Chloe, where she goes over, grabs that hammer, and it's automatically ahead. I knew that hammer was on Mothula, and I just kept going for it. And yeah, it was a 3-heart fighter sword Mothula fight, which is something that you do also see here in inverted as well.
It kind of reminds me of that one save state event that happened at GDQ Hotfix, where some person stood up a rando seed where it was like 4 hearts, and you think you had a fighter sword with all bees, and you had to fight Mothula, and then after killing Mothula, you got the fire rod. And it was I was watching that. It was actually a really fun event. I forget what the name of it's called, but it's really fun.
I mean, it sounds fun there. And nobody wants to die on the overworld ever because of, things like that. And dying on the overworld means that you gotta go back to save point. And usually in inverted especially, that save point ain't nowhere close to where you want to go. Interestingly enough, though, we have Bacon with the mitts and Chloe without.
Yeah, because the Titan's mitts were on the Stalfos room. I think that one of them, I forget what the chest was actually called.
It was the big key chest.
The big key chest, okay.
So it sounds like Chloe just decided, I'm not gonna go over there. I already know where my hammer is. I know where I've got my glove already. We're good. So Chloe coming here out of logic, Bacon coming here in logic. either way, they did their thing.
And there's an ice rod awaiting Chloe over in the graveyard ledge.
Does that mean TR is a pendant?
Probably. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but we already know about one of our pendants anyway, and that was on Thieves Tap.
I mean, that is a 20-minute ice rod, which, whew, you always think that TR is going to be a pendant whenever it comes to early ice rod. But, unlike in normal, where Turtle Rock is easily the longest dungeon, one way or the other, go mode or otherwise, in Inverted, not so much.
And there's the big key for Palace of Darkness in the back of Escape. Oh, and the reason why we got that ice rod so quickly, and we got the graveyard ledge so quickly too, was the fact that in Inverted, there were a couple of the Light World things have changed to accommodate for the fact that we start in the Dark World and not in the Light World. So, for example, K45 gets flattened down a bit so that you can actually get into it without needing the mirror. Same thing applies for Checkerboard Cave, and for other things that require the mirror, for example, like Bombo's Tablet, there's a ladder there you can climb up.
Right, like the Graveyard Ledge and Bombo's Tablet, there's ladders, and but unlike in open where you can, where things like the flute are just necessary and stuff like that. You can actually, if you have a mirror, you can get into Misery Mire by just going down to the desert and mirroring from Light World to Dark World.
Bacon doing a chicken clip just because, and we get the Book of Dora out of it. And we see that Chloe Power also found a Castle Tower small key that actually looks like to be both Castle Tower small keys in possession for Chloe.
See, with them already having Light World access, I would definitely do, if I don't remember if we have done a Lumberjack check, but if we haven't, we need to go do that.
Okay, so I believe we're going into the well now, and Bacon's going to activate the flute that will give him fast travel within the Dark World. And it looks like Bacon, we saw this from Bacon too, but Chloe got a lamp out of the well.
Surprisingly, the lamp, it locks a whole lot more than you think about whenever you're when you're rolling things and when you're doing logic stuff. The lamp actually locks a lot of things. So finding that lamp early is a fire source, and a fire source can now be locked behind a fire source.
Chloe has already activated the flute. Now has fast travel within the Dark World.
There's a big key to Desert Palace.
So, what would you do in this particular situation now?
I would absolutely go up to the mountain, especially if I have got my gloves, and if I'm with like Chloe. If I were Chloe specifically, I would absolutely go up to the mountain. I would Actually, Bacon too, to be honest with you. I would 100% go up to the mountain. I would do Hera. I would do everything, especially if I have everything to do so. But unlike in open, inverted requires the hammer to reach Hera. So, but I would still definitely go up there just to see what's going on up there. And there's a lot of checks up there.
Yeah, that value up on the mountain is very much visible. So I would love to see a mountain play from one of these runners, especially now considering that we have the lamp.
Now, I will say that Bacon can do East Death Mountain and everything but Hera and Ether Tablet. Chloe, on the other hand, can only do West Death Mountain right now until she goes back and gets those gloves from Skullwoods.
Okay, so looks like Chloe Power is heading over to the Mire area. And we get information. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Murdering the Murderdactyl to find out that we have Ether on Misery Mire.
Over in the Mire shed, we just get the Cane of Samaria.
It's always a good find.
Yeah, a very good find indeed. It does let us create blocks. That's kind of cool. And we're going to flute over to 3, looks like.
I think we're going to be getting that play to see what's in that Skullwoods big key chest, because that would be, if I were in Chloe's position, I would be like, oh, I didn't check that. That's available right now. I hope there's nothing there, but I'm going to go check it real quick.
And the blacksmiths are just making a piece of heart.
But also, so you can see what Chloe did. Maybe Chloe was just waiting. Maybe I'm just going to wait until I have the fire rod or I have the Cane of Samaria. Make this a whole lot easier on myself since I only have 3 hearts. Ow. As them Gibdos, they like to give hugs, but we don't like receiving them.
Yeah, it's not fun because they do 2 hearts of damage, and when you have 2 hearts of damage, when you only have 3 hearts to work with, yeah, they hurt.
Well, Chloe did get her glove here, so she is going to be heading up the mountain, I can almost guarantee, and being able to do pretty much everything on that mountain, unless I'm wrong, which I'm wrong, so let's not listen to me.
So, from the looks of things, I don't see them. Bacon is not going to do a pedestal check. We do have the Book of Medora in hand. We can always check the pedestal whenever we want, and Bacon is electing not to do that. Bacon finding out that the Lumberjack Ledge just has a heart container. Okay, so nothing looks like we found anything out of the dam. We're just gonna go ahead and take a look at the sunken treasure. It looks like Bacon is actually gonna do that pedestal check. Maybe just was going to look over to the Aga Ledge before just finding out what's on head. So pedestal check is going to reveal fancy a swim. Ooh, that's flippers. those are the flippers on the pedestal. That's... I would have loved to see that. Well, I imagine that was a plant, but I don't know, actually. We do find a map for Hyrule Castle. Nothing too fun to work. Nothing too important. And we also get a small key for Pod, along with a compass for Swamp. But who cares about compasses anyway? So now we're going over to, we're gonna head over to Agina's cave, it looks like, while Bacon is going to head over to the, actually gonna change his mind and actually realizing, oh yeah, we're in Inverted, we might as well check Graveyard Ledge while we're here. Gonna be rewarded with the Ice Rod. While Chloe is heading over to the Bombos Tablet, within the Desert of Mystery. And it pulls up a small key for Pod. So now we're heading over to Agina's cave, over on Chloe Power's side. And that is half magic. Always nice to see half magic in any seed, whether it be like an open seed, a cross key seed, an ambrosia seed. Anytime you see half magic, you know it's a nice little quality of life improvement. Looking at Graveyard Ledge, or sorry, Checkerboard Cave, not Graveyard Ledge, we do find a small key, and that's going to lead us over to Ganon's Tower, or a small key for Ganon's Tower. Ganon's Tower is readily available after 2 crystals, because we do see a 2-7 seed, meaning 2 crystals for Ganon's Tower, and 7 crystals to actually kill Ganon. There's a big key on the Desert Ledge. And Chloe Power is going to head straight into Desert. So here we go. We have Desert Palace for Chloe Power. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this middle chest, which is the chest that we see if we are boots locked or not. Boots locked or not.
Okay, I am back. Sorry about that.
Okay, we just saw that the flippers were on the pedestal, and that's kind of cool.
I can tell something too. That was Chloe's other placement.
Ooh, that's a pretty spicy placement. The flippers on the pedestal. This is an interesting plan. So, what would be the reasoning behind that for you?
If I were to do this, if I'm Chloe, I'm reading my opponent at this point. I know I can do the current jump. My opponent, I'm not sure. Maybe my opponent can do the current jump, but why would my opponent have any reason to do the current jump? I'm thinking to myself, I can go get an early head start. I can grab my hammer. I can do the mountain. I can do everything. I can get all of this stuff all the way down the line, and my opponent is going to be that much further behind because they can't get all of that.
And it turns out that big key was in fact for Eastern Palace. So yeah, I think this was a good defensive plan from Chloe. Just hinged on the fact that we are doing a current jump, and we know that the hammer is on the pyramid ledge. Excuse me. And
you'll see that from some of these runners. They're going to do defense. Some of these aren't going to be these. Oh well, I really want my boots early, so I'm going to plan it somewhere that maybe they won't think about, but I will. Or I really want this early, so I'm going to put it here. not somewhere completely obvious, but not somewhere, hard to get to.
And most of my plants are just based on stories that I've had with the randomizer. Just the randomizer being cruel in certain cases. Other times, I want to at least force something. Also, nice little VT in the corner of K45.
I must miss that.
Yeah, there's a little VT that's in the inverted K45. Like little grass there.
Oh.
That must be a little bit. It's a bit of a fun little Easter egg planted by VTorp. And we get a kill off of the Lambos, and that is actually first blood for Chloe Prower. That's the first crystal of the match.
But remember, they did agree on opening that tower at 2 crystals. One more crystal opens the tower, and they don't need to have much to open the tower. They need to have light world access. That's it. Because where in open, you'd have to have like gloves and all this other way to get up to the mountain and up to to Dark Death Mountain, all this other stuff, and climb the mountain and all this annoyingness. In Inverted, all you need is a way to get to Hyrule Castle.
So Chloe Power is going to make the play up towards the mountain. Bacon pick up the half magic off of Agina's cave.
But I do really appreciate any time that a runner will play something to hinder the other runner in some way. Like they read the other runner like, hey, maybe my opponent doesn't know Inverted, or maybe, hey, I know my opponent is relatively new. They might be really good, but they're relatively new. So let me do this thing that I know will trip them up. It really it shows the mind games that can go on and everything with Inverted, like not Inverted, but with Plando in general. Is I want to do this, I want to mess with my opponent, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, the way I mess with my opponents is that I like to make my opponents suffer the way I did back in, with some of those dumbest locations that I found a certain item for. I've said this numerous times before in the past, and this was especially during my first race. It was the fact that one of the plants that I did, which was the Hookshot Ice Palace Big Chest, it all spawned up with the fact that I wasn't keeping track of key logic and Ice Palace when there's ambrosia rules in place. So, me not realizing that, accidentally soft-locked myself, and the hookshot was in the Ice Palace Big Chest, and the only way to get myself out of a soft lock was me having to learn a bomb jump over to the east side, the right side of ice. And this was before Icebreaker 2, so that kind of hurt. And the funny thing was that this was on a daily race during a restream. One of the most funniest stories, and that's something that Orange, who is also part of the this year's Plando tournament, likes to joke about all the time to me.
And some of those placements, you can see a lot of times people will put, when it comes to Ice Palace, they'll put Candace Amari on Cold Stare because, haha, no icebreaker for you, and things like that. So you see people you'll see the craziest things in Plando just because, oh, well, I had this happen to me, so I'm going to make my opponent have this happen to them. Or in my case, it was my very first one. I put Hammer in the pyramid, and I put Hookshot in Big Spot, not knowing that what I was going to have to go through to get said Hookshot.
Oh boy. we get a blue mail off of the second chest of Agate Tower.
And well, yeah, I just noticed, Chloe is making that mountain play, and this is the play. This is this is the play I would have made immediately after I got those gloves. I probably wouldn't have even gotten the Cane of Samaria, but I would have just gone. But with Chloe having the Cane of Samaria, say Chloe finds the fire rod up here or anything like that, Chloe already has the TR big key. If Chloe finds the fire rod, she can easily go through and finish out Turtle Rock. Because of Turtle Rock's logic and inverted, you actually inverted key sanity for Turtle Rock. Instead of needing 3 keys, you need a total of 1 small key and the big key to finish out Turtle Rock.
And we get a map for Eastern Palace out of Super Bunny Cave. So we're going to look at what's on the good old Turtle Rock, and it's also Ether. There's a floating island check, and there's red mail. We're just waiting for Chloe Brower.
Just me, or does Chloe now look like Carmen Sandiego?
He kind of looks like Carmen Sandiego, even though it's if like Nico from One Shot cosplayed as Carmen Sandiego. Because yes, that is Chloe Power Sprite. That is Nico from One Shot. Ether tablet check from Chloe Power. And just nothing to note there.
But we are heading up here to Hera and see if we are going to be happy or not so much. Oh, that's a happy.
Yep, that's a fire rod for Chloe Power. She is very happy to see that.
I mean, for me, if I were to have that fire rod right now, I would be looking for me a small key to TR so I can just go. Oh, and Chloe, I love your MSU. It is fantastic. I was just listening to that beat. Like, when I was watching this initially, I was like, I need this MSU in my life.
Yeah, I never listened to La Mulana before, or even played La Mulana. Yeesh. So this is actually a kind of a jamming MSU pack for me.
We're gonna get a bomb jump. It's one of the bomb jumps that I still struggle with, just because I'm not that good, and so like no, I'm not doing that today.
I tend to get that bomb jump pretty much all the time because of the spin clip trick, where you charge up your sword, then you are starting to like as you go. Let me try again. You charge up your sword, and then you back up into the hole that there it is, the hole, and then as you are coming back, you hold back, or back towards the ledge again, and you're trying to just struggling to get back up there. Release your spin, and then you'll just flip right onto the far edge of that. Oh, hello, Ether Medallion. How are you doing today?
And looks like we have another pendant.
It's already 2 pence to our name right now.
Well, being that Chloe did place those flippers on the pedestal, she knows that that swamp is going to be a crystal, so she knows she has to do something about it.
But yeah, with that spin clip, you're able to get most of the more difficult bomb jumps most of the time, if not all the time.
I will have to try that a little bit more. I'm still working on trying to get that one down myself, but I have other things than rando right now in my life.
Yeah, and it's not that difficult to learn once you know what you're doing, and you can apply it to a lot of the difficult bomb jumps, like Ice Palace bomb jump, the other Ice Palace bomb jump that isn't Ice Palace bomb jump to get over to the right side of Ice Palace, and so on and so forth.
Well, as I say a lot of times, glitches don't make the speed run, but glitches do make the good speed runner. Sometimes.
Yeah, it makes you a lot more like efficient, and makes things a lot more quicker compared to the the average Joe.
If you do have the hook shot, for example, though, you never have to use that bomb jump. So most of the time, I don't use I don't even have to worry about it, because most of the time I just have the hook shot, Hera pop, boom. But that is actually one of the ones I'm kind of sort of learning.
There's our Swamp Smoky.
Exactly. Guns don't kill people. Bullets do. Guns just get them back.
And there's the bow. So we have a Swamp House. We have the Swamp House Smoky and the bow within the Paradox Cave.
Do feel you there. I usually do Harapot because I'm just like I don't feel like doing this right now.
I mean, I just do it just because it's more efficient. Okay, so we're looking at Chloe's heading over to 5, and we're going to see Chloe heading to Eastern Palace. Which is a fair assessment, because logically you need all 6 of the pod small keys in order to make pod playable. I think that's right.
Yeah, if you have 4 pod small keys, that means that you can get all the way to the back. If you have 3 pod small keys, then you can do everything except for Helmasaur. So if you have the pod big key and 3 small keys, I would just generally just pick a box and not want to go to it, I think. So typically that's going to be Harmless Hellblade for me.
And that's fair. So Chloe, with that in mind, is going over to Eastern and just waiting to find more pod smalls. And the map chest just has 20 rupees. Okay, so we're gonna look now. We're gonna head into the left side now, and Bacon is heading into Agate Tower. Gonna get that blue mail from the second chest, and there's the GT Big Key. And we also got a Desert Palace small key.
I love that Bacon is Bacon's using the Ultros sprite because I love Ultros and it just makes me giggle every time I see him being played.
And me, someone who is not familiar with Ultros.
Ultros is the octopus from Final Fantasy VI.
Ah, gotcha.
He is a recurring. I don't want to say antagonist. He's not exactly
mini boss.
He's comic relief. He's the anti-hero, anti-villain. That's what he is.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's the Deadpool. There you go. He's a recurring comedy relief boss, mini boss in Final Fantasy VI. I do enjoy that he really becomes like the leader of the Colosseum and such, and it's great. I love him. And yes, I adore the Ultros fight in Final Fantasy XIV. It is hilarious, it's fun, and you're just like, I did that with 8 blue mages. It was so much fun.
Which reminds me, I gotta get back into playing Final Fantasy XIV. I have the free trial.
Now I just want to go play my, I want to play my blue mage again.
Okay, so we now have the Armos Knights for Chloe Power. And this is a really good quick kill. Yeah, perfectly executed quick kill. And that's the other pendants.
Oh, there's the pendant. He's got our flippers.
So there's the flippers for Chloe Prower.
I don't know if she really wanted to find that immediately. I'm pretty sure if I were in her position, I would be like, I don't know. I don't know what I would want to find at this point.
So that does mean that with the fact that we found all 3 of our pendants so quickly without any need for a map check, this does open up the question, oh, hello, Shovel, how are you doing today? But yeah, it does open up the question whether or not Chloe Power probably needs to pull that pedestal for the sake of getting over to Swamp Palace. Which, at this point, we know that, yeah, Swamp Palace is required. But when will Chloe Power actually go over to get the pedestal pull?
I will say that Head would just be like, it's an easy pull. Let me just go get my plant real quick, and then I'll go figure out the next part.
Yeah, but at least the one thing that about the plant of the pedestal being where it is, does actually mean something really. It does mean something, and it means that considering that Chloe used that pedestal flippers as a way to force a current jump if you want to get the hammer so quickly. It's still doing its job because Bacon has yet to go and figure out all those pendants.
And that is very true. I would say that, thinking about it, hold on. No, I mean, he could easily go get the pendants with... Oh, wait, hold on. He has to have the hammer to get the Tower of Hera. So... Oh, well, that is just mean.
Ooh.
That is just mean. Now that I think about it, knowing what I do about this seed, that is very mean, and that is cruel, and why would you do that?
And there's the flippers for Chloe Prower. And we pretty much know at this point, too, that crystals are going to be within Swamp, Skull, Ice Palace, Misery Mire, and Turtle Rock.
Yep, we know exactly what our crystals are. We just we go talk to our bomb shop dude, and he'll tell us what our other crystals are. Now, with what Chloe has right now, Chloe could go over to Ice Palace and just be like, "Sup, dead."
Oh, I just noticed that.
Sorry
Sorry about that. But I did notice from Chloe's menu that there was one of the 5-6 crystals that was picked up from Chloe Prower. And
So that would be desert.
yeah, reason to suspect that was desert.
Now, one of the other interesting little fun tidbits here is that with the hammer and being out of logic and everything, at some point, if you get the hammer so early, now this might just be me, but if I get the hammer really early and I know that it's out of logic, at some point I'm going to forget that it's out of logic. And be like, wait, how much of this is actually going to be in logic? But then we have to think of the settings. Chloe also knows I'm going to be able to get into GT in a crystal anyway. There's going to be stuff in there. Let's get this done.
Yeah, because whenever you lower the GT requirements for crystals, that does mean that the value of Ganon's Tower does open up, and it actually makes the garbage, the GT fill algorithm or whatever, a lot more favorable in the fact that you may find items there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the GT big key that Chloe has on the tracker there?
Yeah, that was the GT big key for Chloe, because we found that pretty, I think, relatively early.
So, you know what our runners and audience and booth and everything, what they like to do is they like to put something way up there in GT. Why? Because they're mean.
Reason to suspect that we may see a plant coming up pretty soon within Ganon's Tower. Catfish is pulling up a map.
Catfish has not $20, so I am sad.
And considering that we know that we do have crystals, we already have one of the crystals, and in fact one of them is a 5-6, Chloe doesn't really need to worry about maps.
That's one thing I like. If you do 7-7 or anything like that, one of the real fun things is thinking, hey, what can I do that will give me advantage on everything here? So I'm doing a 7 key, inverted key sanity. I want to have all the advantage I can. In that case, for example, I'm going to put my fire rod in GT. I'm going to put my lamp in GT. I'm going to do something to make sure that I can force pendants so that I know where my pendants are.
Chloe grabbing the key from off of the K45 and with the funny little VT and the made up of flowers and grass.
I missed it again. I need to pay more attention.
Yeah, I love that. I never noticed it until like I think just now actually. Goes to show how much I play inverted. So there's 100 rupees for Zora, just a 400 loss.
I mean, we got a rebate at least, right?
Yeah, we got a rebate. And Chloe Prower is going to grab the potion shop. The fact that we did just get a fake powder done from Chloe Prower's side, that means we can turn in that mushroom and we can get to grab the item there. Which is a piece of hearts.
Alright, where are you going, Chloe? Oh, Zora time. We're going to get a little bit of a refund, and I guess right now is a good time since they're kind of retracing their steps there to shout out our runners, Chloe Prower and baconbacon1207 for putting on a great show here. Also like to shout out the, start with Restreamer, who is awesome, and I cannot remember his name for the life of me because I have not clicked the button for that command right now. Then I'm my co-com here, Professor Renderer, We also have our tracker. The tracker name that I can't think of off the top of my head. Hold on.
Buster Curry.
Buster Curry, that one.
It's literally below our names.
You know, I have this thing up here, and I'm not looking at it. I'm kidding, LCC. I like you. But called I Have to Roast Everyone, because if I just roast one person, it'd not be fun. And then of course we have our seed roller, who is this person who you just don't want to talk to because it's not cool. But anyway, you want to give any of them a follow? We're going to have those up here in a command here in a second. Don't turn me off. Let me leave.
Yeah, you've always followed me too, because I do stuff. I sometimes race, and I beat Sailor J by 7 seconds today, which was pretty much hard pound. It was very hard pounding.
I did get those. Finally decided to do the exclamation point stuff there. So again, go give everybody a follow. Professor Renderer over here, he's awesome at comms, so you can hear him talk on his channel there. You want to give me a follow, you can do that. That's awesome too. I am Tabby Cat. And we're going to get back to our race. Hopefully we are going to see something different here in a second.
Yeah, definitely follow me, because if you like Knack the Weasel like I do, then you definitely should watch me. But that's besides the point. Anyway, Chloe Power is going to head over to Ice White Cave.
Well, we appreciate your vodcasting skills, because I can't do it. I probably could if I figured it out, but I'm here to roll seeds and make logic bombs and brunt force seeds as well.
And I'm just here to be the one that just likes to share my stories with randomizer and stuff like that.
I'm here to have memes made about the brute force to see.
I mean, at least you weren't there for the 54 piece Triforce Hunt Oko mystery seed.
See, I heard about that, and I was like, I am so glad that I play D&D on Thursdays.
It was fun. It turned out to be 54 pieces for the goal out of a total of 64 to 70 pieces in the item pool.
I'm kind of laughing on that. At the same time, I'm like, I rolled the that seed roll that I had to brute force. We found out later, whenever I was trying to figure out why I had to brute force it, and it's something I actually end up bringing up in a thing that I'm working on right now. Make sure that if you ever are seed rollers, so any potential seed rollers out there, make sure you have removed all items that have been replaced. So you found the bomb happened to be in Dark Cross, and you forgot to remove it. That causes you to brute force a seed. Don't do that. I forgot to take Lamp out of Dark Cross. That was what the initial pick was for that particular seed. I remember taking Lamp out of Dark Cross, but apparently my computer just said otherwise.
Ouch.
So I brute forced the seed, and found out right after I brute forced everything that, oh, lo and behold, this would have all rolled just fine. I was like, you know what? I already did too much work on this. They're keeping everything. But of course, we are always looking for more volunteers in the Plando Discord, so you want to be a comm, seed roller, tracker, or anything else, go hit us up over there. Oh, but we do have a new check. We have Skull Woods. The back of Skull Woods.
Yeah, so this will be the Mothula fight for Chloe Prower.
The Mothula fight is notoriously difficult because of the shifting floors and the spikes. But when you get Inimizer, for example, Mothula is just so easy that it's sad. But what Chloe can do here, Chloe can tank a few hits from Mothula. What Chloe can't do is take some hits from the spikes, but she takes it down easy and gets a mech.
And that is another crystal for Chloe Power.
If I recall correctly, that is number 2. And so, therefore, you know what that means? We might be able to see us GT.
Yeah, GT is open now because we are on 2-7.
So yeah, you're in this position. What do you do?
I'd run to GT, straight up.
Yeah, that's what I did. Whenever we had a reduced crystal one. And I found out, hilariously enough, that the only reason that my opponent apparently had rushed Desert Palace and I didn't was because he had written down Desert Palace with a crystal. And it wasn't. So he ended up getting his Ice Rod while I was still searching in 31 because of that. One of those, ouch.
Well, we're going to look at the hammer pegs. And the hammer pegs has for us a piece of art. And we're gonna get a purple chest check from Chloe Power. This will lead very nicely into that Ganon's Tower check. Purple chest has for us a small key for Turtle Rock.
And as soon as you find that Turtle Rock, so as soon as you find the mirror, rather, you're going to be able to just pull clear Turtle Rock right then.
Oh, it looks like Chloe Power isn't going to go up to Ganon's Tower, actually. Looks like it's going to do the flipper checks.
Makes sense.
Okay, so actually I take that back. Looks like Chloe Power was only there for the check over Lake Hylia Island, and now we're going to see a Ganon's Tower play. And this is fine. I'm okay with this. We're gonna get an Uncle check while we're here, though.
I mean, in my opinion, I would do Uncle. I would do Hyrule Castle into it unless Chloe has already done Hyrule Castle.
Okay, so we're going to see the front of escape for both runners. Bacon in there a bit earlier than Chloe Prower.
I mean, that's pretty much what I do whenever it comes to Aga, is if I can put off if I can put off this until I know I'm going to have to do Aga, I do.
And that's okay. I think that's fine. So, now we're going to see Chloe Power just do the same tricks as Bacon did.
This is so hard whenever you've got red mail. It takes forever because they still just do half a heart of damage.
Looks like Bacon's up and it's like a death orb. Kind of tricky with the red mail. So Bacon heading over to the Dark Cross.
Thankfully, we do know what is already in the back of Escape, so we can easily do that. It's just Dark Cross is really the only other thing we need to know.
Ooh, hello, Tempered Sword. That is a very nice pickup.
Definitely not complaining there.
Yeah, the jump from Master Sword and Tempered Sword is very significant.
We have one of our runners here in chat. Guessing we might not have gotten that. Oh, that. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, having to walk out and then just kill the guard, and having to kill the guard, or killing the guard in Zelda Cell, and then having to walk all the way out to find another graveyard to the Death Fort Pawn is a time consumption.
You could look on the bright side at least, and you see that you have 2 green guards to poke you with their little shivs instead of 1. But yeah, it's never fun.
Chloe will get the Tempered Sword, and we'll also be doing a Death Orb. But more importantly, because of the fact that we did get 2 of our we did get 2 crystals, Chloe will have a bit more time within the castle as we're going to Ganon's Tower.
And this is probably one of those moments where, as a runner, I would be like, I really wish that I had boots right now. Because there's actually a glitch you can do. Granted, I believe it's only in Defeat Ganon, not Fast Ganon, but you can actually bolt up and bonk, and then that actually takes away the cutscene in Inverted.
Going to see Tower Room first, or Tower Room after this, because we did see nothing really to note about within here, and Chloe uses up the key on the right side.
I heard Tower Room. And we got the boots out of Tower Room. That is a plant by our other runner, Bacon.
So, what might be the reasoning behind the plants for the boots in Tower Room?
If I were to guess here, it would be because nobody likes doing Tower Room.
This is a plant that I would imagine should say, "Hey, I'm pretty sure if you're going to go to GT, I guess make that a commitment that you want to make." I don't know. This is a really interesting plant from Bacon.
I definitely agree there.
Okay, so Chloe is now heading into... Oh, hi! We have the gold sword. So this makes the game fight a little bit easier. Nothing too crazy with that, but it does make it so you have at least 6. You have 6 hits for phase 1 and 2. Chloe electing to not go over to the Stalfos room. So instead going to the fireball room. Oh, there's the hook shot. Ooh. So I'm guessing this the reasoning for this. So this plant, I would say, the reasoning for that is, well, maybe you have to just bunk your way over to get over to the Stalfos room. So that means you have to actually just do some work to get over there. And normally you could set up for a bomb jump if you really wanted to, if you know how to line yourself up for that. Or if you know how to hover and you actually decided to go over to the tower room and get the boots, then you might be able to get the Stalfos room out of the way. But having the hook shot just for that, it makes it not as painful.
So, yes, we got. I think the reason for this plant here is because, just like what you said, I think it's because, oh well, I'm gonna have the hook shot. I'm gonna have the hook shot pretty easily after I grab the boots.
So I guess that may explain why the boots were in Tower Room. It's because of the fact that you actually, if you didn't get the boots from out of Tower Room, then the hook shot would actually be a lot more difficult to do, because you would have to bomb jump from point A to point B by using a lot of bombs in that case.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to do a bomb jump on it, and I mean, you're gonna put that hook shot there. It's gonna be in logic now, and boom, you're done.
Okay, so going over to Bob's chest now. Still looking for stuff. Get a heart piece. So, at this point, all we're really looking for is, I would imagine, just the mirror. And we should be in go mode.
Mirror would be the last thing there.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to double check. And we get a small key for GT right here in GT.
Well, so I'm thinking that I mean, there's definitely going to be something here in GT. Not going to spoil anything, of course, until get that. Just even without a spoiler log, I would be in Chloe's position to say there's definitely something in GT.
Yeah, definitely. And we do get the red shields from out of the GT big chest. And we're climbing up GT. I've always liked it when MSU packs incorporated the second, the climb up the GT. I've done that for my MSU pack. I'm looking to do the same thing for my new Rivals MSU pack. I've seen it happen a couple times. Persona 5 has life will change. Oh, yeah. That's a really cool one.
Oh man, like that's why I do Persona 5 so much, is because of the GT climb. It just gets you hyped. I've done Octopath and Breath of the Wild and everything like that, and it doesn't work. It doesn't have the same oomph to it that Persona 5 does.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those. Life will change is one of the is the track to get yourself all pumped up for the end of the game. My MSU pack has the second to last, I think the second to last zone, second act, which is a very hype song. Gets you really pumped up and ready to go up the tower. I love when MSU packs do the upstairs GT climb.
And I'm looking at it thinking, and Bacon just found that hammer.
Ooh, boy. And I actually didn't see how he actually got that. He didn't pull the pedestal or anything.
Well, he get to the pedestal. He would have had to, I didn't notice either. Did he actually also do a kind? Oh, he probably splash deleted. Because splash deletion is easy with the bow and the bombs. You can easily jump down there and boom. Oh, right, flute. They have a flute. The thing.
Right. Yeah, we have a flute. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I completely blanked that they had a flute. When I'm playing inverted, the flute is literally just my fast travel. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I totally understand that. But we know how Chloe Power had his plant set up, and the reason was because he knew how the current jump is able to put a lot of the advantage over to Chloe Power's side. Making heading into Piles of Darkness.
Yeah, and Chloe's pointing out here, she's expecting early mirror with AGA 1 being required, and this seed didn't require AGA 1, which is, whew, that's so rare in inverted, especially Plando inverted. I don't think it's happened yet.
I would be surprised if it actually does happen within the Plando Tournament.
I mean, this is the first one I rolled where AGA wasn't required in inverted. Alright, so we've got a couple checks here. Let's see what we have.
There it is!
There's the mirror. So you want to thank our lovely GFE who placed that mirror right there.
And that's actually not too bad of a spot because you already led right very nicely into GT to begin with. So this plant, after getting the GT big key, is definitely a nice plant just to say, hey, we might as well just reward the player for just going up GT and in this case rewards with go mode.
I mean, you're in Fast Ganon. You don't want to jump up there. That's not cool. But I will also say that I have seen this a lot. In the seeds that I roll, especially with... I had one that was a 6/6 Fast Ganon, and they had to climb the tower to find swords. It was in the upper portion of GT. I had one that was one of my personal ones. It was a 4/7. I had to climb all the way to the top of GT to get my hook shot. So this is pretty common right now in Plando because, you know, you want to have that placement that will throw off your opponent to the extent that they're going to, you know, they're going to have to figure out something else to do, or they're going to have to think, where would my opponent place this?
Okay, so with the mirror in hand, we are now just going over to... We're going to head over into Desert Palace again.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the small key, then that's what you're going to do. Because you can just mirror right from here. You can mirror right over into that other place, Misery Mire, and boom.
Oh, that does remind... Okay, now we're in go mode, because that was first one we got item go mode, and now it looks like... Oh, never mind, we still need Misery Mire's big key. Right, never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, funny thing is that you don't technically need the big key for Ice Palace anymore with all the glitches and everything, but having that big key to Ice Palace makes things so much nicer.
It definitely does. So, all we're looking for now is a Mire big key, and we should be good to go. Okay, so now we are going to see Chloe heading into the light world.
My guess would be Swamp. I mean, if I was in Chloe's shoes, I would be like, I got 10 checks here, I'm missing one item, let's go.
Yeah, we're just one away from go mode at this point, and it makes sense to go to Swamp Palace at this point. So this is Swamp Palace for Chloe per hour.
And we find the obligatory pod, small key in pod, almost always happens, and we're in gum.
So that was really quick.
I think at that moment, Chloe was like, wait, hold on, and go mode.
Yeah, this was a really quick seed.
See, guys, I don't always roll terrible seeds. I'm sometimes nice.
And that goes the same thing. That's the same thing for me whenever I roll seeds for the dailies. Because everyone knows me now, because I'm the guy who does daily races, and I make some awful ones.
Yeah, I have rolled some, like, some of the ones in this tournament, the ones I've had to use with the customizer, have been some of the worst seeds that I have ever seen. So I'm like, I'm glad I'm not racing those. And then the ones I race, yeah, we're not going into that.
Okay, here we go. So we're gonna see a diver down from Chloe Power. I've always been a fan of diver down from the very beginning. When we first discovered it and tested it out for myself, it was like probably one of my favorite tricks out of them, and I always thought Icebreaker was really cool too. But I never really put a lot of time into Icebreaker because of the current rulings, the at the time rulings. But I definitely really enjoyed Icebreaker Pod. The diver down is when I had Samar. It was just the Samaria strats. I think I even put up a video on my YouTube channel about it too.
You see, I was never a fan of Icebreaker until I actually started doing it and found out how easy the sword buffer version was of it, and then I was like, man, this is super easy. It's not a big deal. As for the diver down ones, I'm pretty much spot on with Samaria, but when it comes to the bomb one, I'm still like, I don't know exactly where to put that bomb, so... But I'm not a fan of the bomb ones much.
Doing the bomb diver down is very simple for me, because all I'm looking for is just a pixel gap between my shadow and the top of the little, like, border of the room.
It's the quick kill. Sad panda.
And pretty much after that, it's pretty much free. You just hop into the water, and then just do a diagonal down right for a bit, and then I think for like a frame or so, and then you just hold right, and then you'll just bomb jump into the clip.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to Ice Palace. Gonna see a icebreaker, which again, it's a very fun, very handy little trick here.
Yeah, it makes Ice Palace a lot more tolerable than it was in previous versions of the randomizer, and it's basically, and this is because one of the sole reasons for this year's tournament being the crux for a lot of Samaria on cold stairs, because I mean, the reason behind it really is just we don't want to see any fancy old icebreaker. Let's just do it the more intended way of how tough men go through Ice Palace. That is do Ice Palace bomb jump.
So, you know what I would end up doing, and if I really wanted to make sure that you couldn't do either one, is you put like the mirror on cold stare, the Cane of Samaria, and there you go. You can do fangled tricks.
That's awful.
You know what? I'm not nice.
That's awful.
I'm actually one of the people who would probably put Cane of Samaria in a very accessible location, because, you know, I'm not a fan of doing it the old-fashioned way anymore either. I mean, I do bomb jumps. I'm okay with bomb jumps, and you will see things in this tournament, like, you'll see it where the Cane of Samaria is in the Ice Palace Big Keep that's like, ha ha ha, you know, and it's all memes at this point, because, oh, we don't want you to, you just need to just do it the fashion way. And there's also a reason you see a lot of hook shots on Moldworm too. Moldworm as well, not Moldworm 2. So what I've seen as the seed roller is a lot of people put Cane of Samaria on Cold Stare, they'll put Hookshot on Moldworm, and they'll put they'll do basically anything and everything in their power to make it so that their opponent cannot do a glitch that they might be used to doing.
Yeah, and I like the reasons behind those are very straightforward. It's because, well, if you're going to be doing those glitches anyway, because they save a lot of time, you may as well just take away that power and make them do it the old-fashioned way. In the case of Ice Palace, it's just, you know, do the Ice Palace bomb jump if you still know how to do that. There's a Cane of Burner, by the way. Then there's also the case of the hair pot where you don't have a hook shot to even clip into the pot, and you can't even you could try to do a hair pot, but that would require some out of bounds stuff, and that obviously isn't allowed in any tournaments or in any races. So we gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Either we gotta go all the way over to Hera Basement to get the big key, and then climb up. Or just climb up when we have the big key.
Yeah, and I've seen so many people who will just, they'll just do whatever it takes to throw off their opponent, especially in races such as, like, he's in our chat right now, Orange. When I got JTN's pick, it literally was right afterward. He goes, the only thing I can do is just try to throw off Orange just enough so maybe I won't lose so badly to him. And it's like that's pretty much what the whole name of the game is in Plando is mind games for your opponent.
And my definition of mind games is to make people suffer.
And here is my reason for loving this mode so much is right here, because who likes doing Turtle Rock, right? Nobody likes doing Turtle Rock, so let's just skip it.
Yeah, we're just who cares about doing Turtle Rock? We can just get there right now because we have something called Laser Bridge.
And the best part about this that I've seen is just you can, they do a lot of things where they make things accessible, but that spot right there makes it so you only need one small key to do the entirety of Turtle Rock from front to back, and it's just so it makes me smile every time I look at it.
So we have Cold Stare, sorry, Trinex fight for Chloe Power. We just saw Cold Stare before.
Cold Stare, you gained a hit or two. Well, no, you are less fluffy.
And Cold Stare apparently is a rock.
I'm not actually surprised at that.
Oh, English. I can English. And there's a map for Ice Palace, but we don't really care about that.
We haven't needed a map since like 30 minutes in.
Yeah, that's all thanks to Chloe, by the way.
Oh, well, Bacon is in GT right now, and he is going to get his boots, and this is what we like to see. And Adalor, I'm just going to comment on your hammer and Ice Palace big chest. No. That is mean, I don't appreciate it, and I don't like it. Man, I control that hammer, man. I will do anything in my power to make sure that I have the hammer, and like most of the time it's hammer and moon pearl is what I like to place in my seeds. I don't even know what I'm going to place in my next one though, which reminds me I have to actually submit my next one. But speaking of mind game stuff though, there was one I love that. Speaking of the fun mind games on for Plando and such, it's one of my opponents knows I hate Inamizer. I despise Inamizer. But I said to the guy, I was like, hey, yeah, you allowed me to do my inverted key sanity, and I found out later that he was not exactly 100% okay with it, but he was okay enough to keep going, right? So I was like, whatever you want to do, and he's like, standard all dungeons Inamizer, and I was like, I hate my life. I prefer no Inamizer.
Okay, so Chloe Power is now heading over to Palace of Darkness boss. That would be Helmbasar King. And looks like Chloe Power's last boss is going to end up being Misery Mire.
It's not bad. And you see, in Inverted, I personally like doing Pod right before my Ganon fight, because I'll just, I don't care about, I don't really care that much about walking the two screens over.
So we are in the Helmbasar King fight right now. And Very nicely done for Chloe Power.
And Orange does point out that Chloe tried to force all dungeons, but DFE was like, nope.
Yeah, and I did the same thing as well.
I will say that when people actually go up against me and they try to figure out what I placed in my races, it's actually been quite entertaining for me to see what people think I placed. Because if you actually know me, you know I will never ever place Ped because I don't like it. I think it's free reign. It's like one of those things where if you're playing a Plando, something's gonna be on Ped anyway, so why bother? And so I always laugh when I watch VODs where I'm racing and they're like, oh yeah, she definitely put it on Ped. No, we're playing a Plando. Someone put something on Ped. I didn't do it. I don't know what's there. I don't care. Something's on Ped. See, I say this publicly so that I can put something on Ped and nobody will know. But we are getting down here to our Vitreous. So get that quick Vitreous down, and then all we got left is Ganon.
And because we have fast Ganon enabled, we can just get over to the Ganon drop down right away.
Not necessarily, actually, because we didn't finish Aga. That's what Chloe wanted, Chloe wanted to be able to finish Aga. Because that way, we could be like, okay, we finish Aga and save and quick done. This time, on the other hand, what we're going to have to do is we're probably going to end up doing a thing. I can't think of
just a walk.
A walk, yeah. We're going to actually have to walk. We don't like walking.
I mean, we're still off on our way over the Ganon anyway, so yeah. Even though we don't have we're not killing Aga, we can still just walk over there. So what I said earlier still applies.
Well, it's a little bit more work this time than what we wanted, but it's less work than if you do it on don't have the Aga fight done and everything for normal seeds, because this one is if you flute to 4, you just start at your house, you go straight up, you're pretty much done. Or you go straight down and then you open it up and then you can go just straight up to Hyrule Castle. It's a little bit easier that way. And this Mimic is not being kind.
And with that, we got all 7 crystals. So now Chloe's gonna flute over to 4, and it's gotta do quite a walk to get over to Ganon.
So whenever Ganon does say something about the did you find your silvers in X, I will let people know where the silvers are. So if you want to get your where are your silvers in chat, go ahead and do that. So where do you think the silvers are?
Ooh, there was a lot to find in. There was a lot of places that we could have found those silvers. I don't know, actually. Because we know it was, as far as I'm aware, it wasn't in GT.
Nope, it definitely wasn't in GT. I believe we did all of those.
Which is good, because because silvers are always in GT for some reason. Or at least the seeds that I've rolled.
silvers are always in like the last chest, like in the big chest or something in GT.
Probably. So yeah, we're now going to see a Ganon fight over on the Chloe Power side.
Also, just to let you know, the GT Big chest is a very popular place to put things in this tournament as well.
Yeah, because you don't normally see the GT Big chest in a actual seed. On to phase 3 for Ganon.
Somebody gave the big pig catnip. It's got the zoomies.
Yep, legit. I think I've never seen. I think my mom gave catnip to some of her. Ooh, Turtle Rock. I.e., we were never gonna get those.
Yeah, and in fact, the really sad part is that it was in Compass chest, so it was the first chest that we get to Turtle Rock.
Ooh. Ew. Yeah, so we were never gonna go to. Yeah, we were never gonna get to the first chest Turtle Rock, especially in Inverted.
I will say that I've seen it. No, you never like to see that.
A little too early there for Chloe Power. But Chloe Power has Torch Glitch.
This is the quintessential glitch that you have to learn.
Ooh, that was really close to having Chloe fall off there. And Bacon takes death. Oh, that's a fairy.
Oof.
That's a fairy.
Guess we should ask, is there anything anybody wants to know about where items are?
Too early again from Chloe Power, having to stun Ganon when she meant to, just actually set up a triple, but that's gonna do it.
There's it. GG's Chloe.
GG's in the chat for Chloe, and I can actually reveal that, of course, that's that one Pipe Big Bridge thing is a thing. So we are gonna see a finish. Well, it's already finished, but still. But Chloe Power did finish with an official race time at GG time of 1:46.40.
Meow, 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 meow. Oh my god.
And we were just talking about catnip. But yeah, I was gonna say though, I've never seen my mom give her cats catnip, and it's just seeing them just all flail around, just having the time of their life is just super funny to me.
It really is. It's probably one of the best things is whenever you can find your cat have catnip.
It's always fun to watch though.
It's like as the sound goes from a little bit quiet to louder whenever we switch over here to Bacon Bacon. And Bacon continues as they now have their hookshot, their boots, their mirror, and they are gonna go.
Just gotta find the spot to mirror into. There we go. Okay, so now for Bacon, we're going to see. Oh, looks like a hammer picks check.
looks like Bacon is making that mountain play, and I mean, this is always a good play, especially if you have that hammer. I mean, that's one thing that knowing some things on inverted, knowing that hammer pretty much locks a dungeon. It locks it locks Turtle Rock and open, but in inverted here it locks the other thing, the Hera.
Yeah, and Bacon has yet to get those flippers, and for what we know is that Bacon has yet to go into Hera.
Yeah, we don't have a fire rod, but my guess right here is going to be that Bacon will probably end up going to Hera, grabbing that pendant, going to go get the flippers off of Ped there, and then going from there.
Getting bullied by the Bari there. The water airfoil. That's a really funny name for the flippers.
We did get to see some new checks here in Hookshot Cave, but it just looks like that we got pretty much some more health.
So there's Bacon getting the information about where the ether was for Turtle Rock.
I do believe Bacon was here before. I just think that maybe Bacon didn't finish everything that he could.
Getting a Mimic Cage check for Bacon.
This is a pretty missed check in inverted only because you forget you can do it.
Yeah, it's a very free spot to actually do it.
It really is, and in inverted, unlike in Turtle Rock, which whenever I'm doing co-op piloted keys, I will spoiler keys rather. I will say, "Hey, do Turtle Rock with a twist," which means you have to go to Mimic Cave or something. This one, on the other hand, well, don't really need to do that. There is no twist. There is only Mimic Cave. But here's one thing that you can find on Turtle Rock is if you go through the many entrances of Turtle Rock, you actually only need one key to do every check in Turtle Rock. 2 keys if you decide that you don't want to go through the front door.
There's another small key for Ganon's tower in the Crystal Roller Room. Okay, we're getting a laser bridge check from Bacon. And since we already have the mirror shield, we don't have to worry about having to do any laser skips or anything.
Yeah, that's always nice.
And so far, really nothing here to note. Yeah, just nothing at Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I think the only thing I saw in Turtle Rock was the silvers. So, it's kind of one of those oof moments where you go into TR, you're like, I mean, TR always has the answers except when it doesn't, and fortunately this was one of those times.
lava chest is a small key for Turtle Rock. Here in Turtle Rock. A 150 collection rate is not too terrible.
No, absolutely not. Whenever it comes to key sanity, 150 is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, key sanity is 150 is a really good score, and so is in fact Chloe's time to boot. It's a really good time.
That's one thing about inverted key sanity is that, I mean, inverted might be really difficult, but inverted keys can really give you, it gives you a little bit better efficiency, in my opinion, especially in the light world. As you walk in the CAC, you go straight down, you go all the way around, and you can just basically hit 90% of those overrolled checks that will take you maybe 10 to 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes in open. It takes you, 15 at most in inverted. So, I mean, you shave a lot of time in the overrolls. There's those silvers.
Those are the silvers that you had mentioned previously. And we're going to see a death orb for that.
Yeah, and Bacon really didn't find anything.
So what could be really next for Bacon at this point?
Hera, 100%.
Yeah, I think you should really go up to Hera at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be, what my opinion is going to be on this is I would say go to Hera, then I would jump down, go over to actually Light World, and pull Ped and then Mirror, just slightly off center where you would normally from Skull Woods. Go beat yourself a Mothula and then go from there.
It does show again the power, the plans that Chloe had set up previously, where Chloe put the put the hammer on top of the pyramid ledge, and we also again saw that Chloe Power ended up doing the pedestal having the flippers, and although it wasn't in a way that Chloe wanted it to be, for the reason behind it, but how it's pretty easy to see that you could also do a current jump over to get the hammer relatively quickly.
Yeah, it just, I mean, as you saw there, it took Chloe maybe, it took 2 bombs, and Chloe was over there. It took less than, 10 seconds. And then about 15 seconds later, Chloe has her hammer, and she's gone.
Yeah, and that, the current jump really much, showed that, shows, her ability to, do these complicated tricks to make a lot of time, and also be able to do things like avoid an Aga. Even though Chloe Power's intention was, in fact, to force Aga, the fact that we saw the mirror in GT pretty much negated that possibility.
Yeah. And really, I would say that looking at those plans, and I was kind of reading some of the race time chat afterwards, and I'm gonna have to check it on my own real quick, of course, just to see what happened. But in all reality here, if your tracker doesn't say you can do it, even if you get the flute, then yeah, you're gonna have a bad time, and it sounds like that's exactly what happened there, was that his tracker never showed it, and so he never went over there because he didn't know he could.
Yeah, and that pretty much just sealed the deal there, and as a result of this, this wasn't still a fun set regardless, and just Chloe Power was able to make things work. Bring it up not the fight for bacon.
I mean, if Mothula is now a big worm, then yes, we are gonna get him.
I said Mothra, not Moldar.
Well, you know, this is the Tower of Skulls.
There's the ether medallion for bacon.
And you know, Bacon doesn't know this, but Bacon is literally those flippers and just entering in Swamp Palace from Go Mode.
Okay, so we're going to see a mirror from Bacon. And let's see where Bacon ends up next.
Is this a Spike Cave play?
To Spike Cave. Interesting.
This is another one I'm not as surprised at, especially in Plando. You know, we have seen Bombos here, we've seen Fire Rod here, we've seen pretty much anything and everything terrible here, so I am not surprised with this check at all.
Yeah, we've seen from this. If anything we've seen from this Plando tournament and a lot of past Plando tournaments is that a lot of our runners will try and metagame the really bad spots because there's a sneaky suspicion that spots like Spike Cave, Catfish, the Thieves Town Big Chest, those kind of places are like the most evilest spots that you can possibly think of in a Plando sense. And when you're playing in actual seeds, and when those bites they come to bite you, they sting quite a lot. Mm-hmm. So checking these really bad spots is something that's as a player of a Plando, you want to make sure you have those information in mind, because look, they're trying to clear out your bases on those bad spots, and when it does come to bite you harder, when it comes back to bite you when there's nothing on those spots where you metagame it, and that's where the absolute hurts.
I mean, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna and I have often talked about where he was teaching me a lot of stuff on Rando, and he was just, you know, trying to do this one thing, and it didn't. He basically had me on one half of the screen and him on the other half, and he was streaming it on his Twitch, and he thought that the mirror the Spike Cave had red armor, when in fact it had the mirror, so he never went to Spike Cave until very last location. But I think, if I recall correctly from when I looked here, we do have a forfeit from Bacon. He realized that Chloe had finished and decided, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, that was the point where Bacon said, "Yeah, it's all done. We're done and dusted. Time to wrap this up here."
Yeah, get your GGs for Bacon in chat. It was definitely a valiant effort, and it was a seed that could have been a whole lot better and worse? Question mark.
Yeah, but this was still a fun seed regardless, and yeah, so this should do it for now. Now get the schedule up here for the next 5 races coming up here on the Plando Tournament. So coming up, we have on October 7th, which is at 9:30 p.m. We have the Gaming Contrarian versus Mr. Scott Ninja Tuna, and that will happen again on 9:30. Then we have Ovidius Nazo versus JTN on the 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and of course you have the third one. We have yours truly against Chimo, October 9th at 8 p.m. And then we have Eula Maniac versus Chimo on the 10th at 6 p.m. So definitely stick around, follow the Plando channels, see when those come up on the list. Shout outs to Chloe Pryor and Bacon, put up an excellent show for us. We do have LTCB 2412 as our vodcaster. I am Professor Renderer, and Tabby Cat was my co-com. And then we have Buster Curry as our tracker, and of course, Tabby Cat is of course the seat ruler. I'm right next to her anyway, so.
Yep. So if you liked what you saw, please follow our runners. Please follow our stream team. There's a lot of things that go out, in the background of everything. And of course, we always want to shout out our wonderful admin, JTN, who does so much behind the scenes, and it is insane. And you should definitely go check out that October 9th one where JTN is racing. But yeah, this is Tabby Cat 54. We got Professor Renderer here, and I guess we're going to call it a night here. So I hope everyone has a great night.
All right, take it easy, everybody.